You got the touch. You got the power. Yeah!
Hello and welcome to But I Digress, the vlog where sometimes my mouth goes faster than my brain. I am your host, Nathan, call me Nate Marchand. I want to apologize. I'm a little bit sick because my little brother gave me a cold for Christmas. Alright, little brother's grand, but I will get on with today's episode, which is going to be a little bit different. As I've said before, this vlog is a way for me to interact with you, my audience. So with the new year coming around, I thought I would tell you what my big projects are going to be for the coming year. Now, I'm still going to be working on freelance articles and short stories and poems throughout the year, but these are going to be my 4 big projects for 2013. So, what do you have to look forward to? Let's begin. First, I want to talk about my latest completed novel, Ninjas and Talking Trees. What's that about? It tells the story about a boring accountant who is transported via a porta potty at a Renaissance fair to a very goofy fantasy world which he must now liberate from a very eccentric tyrant. This story was inspired by an inside joke started by one of my literature classes in Taylor University, Fort Wayne, where we decided as a class that all good stories must have both ninjas and talking trees in them. Since I have not yet to find a story with both of those in it, and because I felt like writing something that was completely different from Pandora's Box, which was a very dark and serious story, I decided to go with writing a fantasy comedy. Now, I completed this book about springtime, I think? Yeah, about springtime. And I sent it to a publishing house, but they have yet to get back to me on it. Did I mention that writing is the slowest business in the world? Yeah. But I am planning on possibly sending it to another publishing house. I think it might be a better fit for it, or I may just self-publish it and get it out there. So, when is it going to be out? I'm not 100% sure. Stay tuned, and I'll be sure to give you more updates as they surface. The next project I'd like to tell you about is the one out of these 4 that I have the least control over, even though I was a huge contributor to it. And that is Zorzum the Liberator. At least that's what it's being called for now. What is this? It is the story of a wild man who is commissioned by death to liberate his, as in the wild man's, people from a vicious tyrant, all in the name of his god, the Great One. This was a novella that, much like my book Destroyer, was a product of the Pulp Fiction project that I participated in with my fellow Taylor writers from 08 to 09. It was created by my friend Nick Hayden, who I've mentioned a few times here on this vlog, and then passed along to our mutual friend Aaron Brosman, and then finally to me. Nick wrote this because he wanted to contribute a barbarian story to this project. And I will tell you right now, as cool as Conan the Barbarian is, Zorzum is twice as cool. You'll have to read the book to understand, but I honestly believe he is twice as cool as Conan. When can you expect to see this then? That all depends on Nick. He's editing the book right now, and I don't know how long it's going to take him. But he does plan on self-publishing it, most likely through Lulu and Smashwords, and possibly on the Kindle. I just don't know when he's going to get it done. Though, it would be really cool to have a new book to take with me to Gen Con in August. Hint, hint, Nick. The next project I want to tell you about is going to be the biggest one I have in 2013, and that is Hope's War, a sequel to my first novel, Pandora's Box. Spoiler warning! For those of you who haven't read Pandora's Box, I suggest you skip ahead about 20 seconds to avoid having the ending of that book ruined. Hope's War tells the story of Pandora Brewer's teenage daughter, Hope, who rushes headlong into a world devastated by the Fury virus in order to locate the scientist who can synthesize her blood into a cure for the disease. Wow, this is going to be a pretty different book from Pandora's Box, even though it is a sequel. It's going to have a different structure and an almost entirely new cast of characters. However, if you know my novel well, you will see a few familiar faces come back for this one. It will most likely be published by Hades Publications under their imprint Absolute Express, which published Pandora's Box. So make sure you come back to my website to get periodic updates about how this book is coming along in the writing process, and you can probably expect to see it in print sometime, I would guess, in 2014. And finally, I have a big announcement to make with this last one, because this is the first time this project has been mentioned directly anywhere, and that is Children of the Wells. What's that about? Well, that requires a little bit more of an explanation, so I wrote it down. Once, magic from the wells was the power of the elite, who wielded it with abandon. Then, a great cataclysm devastated the world and robbed them of their power and dried up the wells. Now, common men have been gifted with relational magic, whereby they tap into the new magic powers within those around them, who have become living wells. I hope that makes sense. Trust me, it's not as complicated as it sounds on there. That's just an overview of what this is, which is an ongoing web serial that will feature multiple writers and follow multiple characters, including a displaced prince and a now powerless aristocrat and her very single-minded bodyguard. It was created by myself, Nick and Natasha Hayden, and Timothy Deal, among others. We've been working on it for almost a year, and we're really excited about it. We're doing the final touches on the first couple of stories, one of which was written by me, and we're planning on building a website, which is still under construction, and getting it up and running second quarter of 2013, so probably around April at the earliest. So be sure you come back to my website and Nick's website and for further updates, and we'll make sure that once we have the website up and running and we have stories being posted, you will hear about it, because trust me, it will be exciting. I can promise you that. So there you have it, true believers. Got a lot of exciting things in the works for you in 2013, and I can't wait to get started on all of them. Thank you to all of those who have been watching these vlogs these last couple of months. This was a new thing for me. I wasn't sure how it was going to work out, but I've really enjoyed making these videos, and I plan on continuing to make them in the coming year. So, in light of all of this, come here, Jared. From all of us here at But I Digress, a merry belated Christmas.
And a Happy New Year.
Thank you for joining me this week on But I Digress. This is Nate Marchand, signing off.
See you next year.